Hello guys and welcome to today's video. So today it's going to be a little different than from normal stuff that I've been doing. I guess my channel doesn't really have a normal stuff. But basically I want to talk about kind of going to cons, and events and stuff like that and the experience. Basically a lot of people hold back when they first go, just kind of hide or just don't let it out as much as they should, and I just kind of want to show that you should just kind of go and just let it out. Be who you are. Just kind of talk about some things that I've done and some experiences I've had. And yeah, so here we go. So this I did write actually a couple months ago, and I'm just now getting around to filming it. So this was back in May that I wrote this, and that it's referring to in time, just as a little note. But I'm mostly going to be just reading it off. But so yeah. So a few weeks back, I got the wonderful chance to go to my first real con, that which being SakuraCon in Seattle, Washington. So what SakuraCon is it's the largest anime convention in the Pacific Northwest with roughly 23,000 attendees. And it is what I'm going to be referencing in this video for the most part. But what I say here will apply to just about any fan-structured convention, from anime to Comic-Con type stuff to gaming to tabletop to roleplay, or like, you know. Well, what is it you're going to be talking about, you may ask? And to that, I would say that I'm going to be talking about the environment and the fun, but more specifically, I'm going to be talking about letting loose and being able to actually have fun. Well, what does that mean, you may ask? Well, just calm down and let me explain. So, I know that a lot of people get really nervous, coming up to and even at their first con. Nervous they won't like it, nervous they won't know what to do, and nervous about being themselves. Let me just start off by saying that if you like what the con is based off of, you will love the con. Number 2, I would highly recommend that you get a schedule and a map of where the event is going to be several days ahead, and pick things that you are interested in seeing. You might find multiple things with overlapping times, but what you should do is you should mark them both, because some events might not be as interesting as you think they might be, and you might decide to just kind of drop out about halfway through and go to the other one. Another thing is you should check for apps, because a lot of cons nowadays, even small ones, have a mobile app with their schedule that'll update instantaneously if something changes, and they're also usually set up so they can send you alerts 5, 10, 15 minutes before, so you have time to walk over to it. Now about that third thing, and trust me, it's the best one. So, a lot of people who have strong interest in a topic often hold it back in their day-to-day lives. So maybe there's a conversation going on, you want to blurt out some obscure reference in the middle of it, but you know that most people would just look at you oddly and have no idea what you're talking about. Maybe you want to dye your hair blue after your favorite anime character, but you know you could never get away with that at work. Maybe you want to walk down Main Street in medieval garb, and let me tell you, conventions are about that and much more. See, the beauty about conventions is that all of that is expected and encouraged behavior. You can let your geeky side out and everyone will love it. The more you get into it, the more popular you will be. See, conventions don't live by the rules of society, and as a matter of fact, many of them make a name for themselves by throwing them out the window entirely. So, I'm just going to say I wasn't telling the whole truth. SakuraCon technically was not my first con, just my first big con. In all reality, a local event named MizCon was my first con about 10 months prior to SakuraCon. MizCon is a local con, name's the abbreviation for the Missoula Sci-Fi Convention. But really, Missoula is a small town pretty much in the middle of nowhere. So in addition to being a sci-fi con, it's also the anime con, the tabletop RPG con, the furry con, the comic con, and a few other things all squished together into one big event, and it really does end up being pretty interesting. I ended up going to MizCon because I had a friend that was selling some stuff there, and for the month, or 2 or 3 months really leading up to MizCon, they wouldn't shut up about, hey, you going to MizCon? Are you going to MizCon? There's a contest to get a free pass to MizCon. You should sign up. and eventually they convinced me to go. But at that point, the pre-registration was already closed, so I gathered up some money, and on the first day, I waited in line to buy a 4-day weekend pass for $60. So on the first day, I didn't do much. I hung around my friend's booth on the merchant floor, checked out a few other booths that were selling things, but really I was in the, what I would call the what if my friends see me stage, where I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any friends to drag me around, because the one person that I knew that was there was selling at a booth. And I really didn't want to be seen, even though if any of my friends actually saw me there, they would just join me and have fun. They wouldn't judge me in any negative way. But, I hung out, and I ended up staying there until about 1 a.m. when my friend finally left. Because MizCon, the actual event, ends right around 6 p.m. Each day. But then until about 1 or 2 a.m., you're free to stay in the hotel area, as it's in the hotel main lobby types area, conference center. And so there's a few rooms that'll have stuff going on. Someone will hook up a projector and play anime music videos, AMVs. In the dealer's hall, the central area, will always have the tables cleared off that everyone's selling on, and they'll bring out card games and board games, and you can just play whatever you want. You'll have people playing Cards Against Humanity, people playing just all sorts of different things, and it's really fun to play around at Cards Against Humanity with some strangers, I found. So, day 2 rolled around, and that was pretty different. By that point, I started to get what was going on, and I started to feel a bit more open, and I did a lot more looking around, being in panels more than half the time that day and talking to some random strangers. I actually ended up making a new friend with somebody who I'm still friends with to today, because they were spending a lot of time at the booth that my friend was running and asking questions, so I thought they knew him. And coming to the end of the event, I found out they actually had no idea who the person was. But they ended up just hanging out so much that I felt comfortable just kind of randomly talking to him. Yeah. So towards the end of the day, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, I got to planning, and I wanted to do a cosplay on the third day. Because by that point, I was really getting into the rhythm of things, getting into the con. Yeah. But as anyone who has attempted to cosplay knows, you need more than a few days to do anything good. Or do you? If you throw perfection out the window and just go for fun and good enough, what can you do with 3 hours? So, I ended up making a call to a friend, and I managed to get someone to bring out 5 rolls of duct tape and a piece of fabric to the hotel that MizCon was in, and I got to work. So I'm pretty good at actually making stuff out of duct tape. Back in 6th grade, I actually sold dozens of wallets, bags, hats, balls, and all sorts of other stuff out of duct tape. I probably went through like 30 rolls of tape that year at least, with very little of it actually being wasted. And I actually still use a duct tape wallet up to when I was writing this. It just fell apart, so not using it anymore, but I really did a lot of stuff with duct tape. I took a few hours, and this is what I came up with here. So, as you can see, definitely not anything amazing, but it's pretty entertaining. I had the hat already, and if you can't guess, I was cosplaying Dippy Fresh from Disney's then popular, and still to a certain extent popular, Gravity Falls show. Now, anybody who knows the character knows that he wears tan shorts, an orange shirt with blue puffer vest, but I didn't have a change of clothes on site, so this is what I had that night. I ended up staying at the hotel until around 1 a.m. again. So, day 3 rolls around, and I was really getting into the rhythm of things. The night before, when I got home, I found the tan shorts that I knew I had. I got them ready, so the only real difference between me and Dippy Fresh is that he has a blue puffer vest, and I had a sweatshirt from a local business, because I didn't have a puffer vest, so that's just what I ended up having. And on day 3, I was buying stuff from vendors that I was too afraid to be seen hanging out with on the first day for really no good reason. Hanging out with my new friend and some of her other friends that were there, going to all sorts of panels, having the full fun con experience, And really, I just wish I got into that mood sooner. So, you are there to have fun. Be with people that loves the same thing that you do, and if somebody you know sees you there, they're there because they love it too. And more than likely, you'll end up becoming closer if you find this weird thing that you guys both like. And really, there's be pretty small chance that anything negative would actually happen. Now, back to SakuraCon. I was able to use the experience that I gained from MizCon to have a good time at SakuraCon. I did still hold back a bit on the first day, but after that it was full speed ahead. So, one thing that's nice about SakuraCon is it's almost 500 miles away from my hometown. And there's probably a term for this, but I don't know it, so I just knew that it would give me what I'm going to be coining for this video, crowd anonymity. And what I mean by this is that nobody that sees you will ever remember you, will ever remember that you're there or anything. And nobody will know next time they see you, even the people at the con. So let me put it this way. Have you been to a concert or a sporting event or something where there was some crazy person shouting something over and over again? Okay, if you can think of one, could you tell me what that person looked like? Do you think that if I put 23 people in front of you, let alone 23,000 people, that you could tell me who it was? Now, what if everybody was yelling? Would you remember one random person out of the entire stadium? I really don't think so, unless you purposely were getting together with them and wanted to keep up with them. Now, I didn't take this too far, but I was that guy that asked some kind of drunk questions at a few Q&A panels. You know, I wasn't actually drunk, but just kind of the, hey, what if this and this, blah, blah, just kind of random questions, but just kind of getting into that, just letting loose and just saying whatever mood. But there are some people that take this above and beyond. There was one person that multiple times, as part of his cosplay, sort of, just up and stripped down when he was the focal point at a panel. And then at the rave Saturday night, he was out dancing in nothing but a pair of boxers and a tie around his head. He has been forever immortalized in several internet videos, but nobody knows who he is. And unless he does another similar cosplay next year, the chances of anybody recognizing him are extremely small. There is one last thing that I would like to talk about, and the term that probably also has a name, but I don't know what it is, so I'm gonna coin it crowd conduct. And so just crowd conduct is the fact that if you're a part of a crowd and the crowd starts doing something, you're much more likely to do it as part of a crowd than you would on your own. Another sporting example would be, the big stadium wave. If you are in a stand or in a football game and the wave comes around, chances are you're going to join in. You're going to stand up, wave your arms, and shout, woo! Because that's part of why you were there. It's part of the experience of the game. Now, if you were out grocery shopping and all of a sudden you waved your arms and went, woo, people might think you're kind of a little crazy. Unlike when you're at the hypothetical football game. There, people might think you're crazy if you ignore the wave. The same type of effect happens when you're at cons. If you're in a room full of people that share the same interests as you, and they start doing something that you wouldn't dare do in your day-to-day life, you'll probably just join in with them. And you sure have fun. An example from SakuraCon would be some of the Yuri on Ice panels. I did end up going to some, and for those of you that don't know, Yuri on Ice, aka YOI, is the story of a Japanese figure skater that is fairly openly gay in the anime. So in my normal day-to-day life, I would not go out and look for a gathering of people that like to watch a video that's directly about a figure skater and his love for his male coach. But that's something, wouldn't do in day-to-day life. But a few months prior, back in October and November, Yuri on Ice just blew up. And everybody had seen it. In the 2016 Anime Awards that Crunchyroll won, out of the 13 categories, Yuri on Ice took first in 6 of them. That's almost half of the awards. So that and the fact that I knew if I recorded it, I'm going to get clicks on YouTube. And I actually am over 5,000 views on that. So I wasn't wrong on that. Got me to go to the panel. And I really had fun. Because no matter what a con is for, the overall attitude of almost everyone is one of acceptance and energetic fun, no matter who you are, no matter what the panel or the event is. And that brings me pretty much to the end of this video. I guess kind of just the recap main points is that if you're going to a con soon, or if you're trying to decide whether you should or not, first off, if you love the topic, go. You're going to love it. Be you, what you want to be, not what everyday society wants you to be. Just feel free to do whatever you want. You won't have any doubts when you're done, and your only regret will be that you didn't do more and you didn't go sooner. Just thanks to crowd anonymity, you can be you, and no one's going to recognize you. So, I mean, really, what's the reason not to? And just, it's really a good experience. And it's kind of sad that so many people hold back. But yeah. So, thanks for watching. Thumbs up, down if you liked it or not. Subscribe if you want. I have LTX content. I have SakuraCon content. There's some MizCon content. I guess I can't put stuff on the screen anymore because YouTube. I can at the end, so maybe it'll work. But yeah, and then you can subscribe if you want. So hopefully that'll work. Otherwise, in the description. And thanks for watching.